right, that's up and running. All right. In three, two, one. Hello, and welcome to Cast a Strong Style. I'm your host, Don Delarente, and I'm joined once again by my co-host, Mr. Anwar Starwin. What's going on, Anwar?
Nothing much, Don. Just enjoying the bright lights of the city.
Yes. Thank you for joining me once again on another excellent edition of Cast a Strong Style.
Yes.
You can find Cast a Strong Style on the CSPN at www.cspn.us. So on this edition of Cast a Strong Style Anwar, we're going to get into night 12 through 16 of the G1 tournament. So we're getting close to the semifinals and the finals of the overall tournament, and the action is heating up and the standings are getting tight. So for night 12, we had B block matches, and we start off with Tama Tonga versus Ishii. Ishii hits a sliding lariat and it gets a 2 count. And as usual, Tonga Loa pulls out the ref. Fale arrives. Ishii fights him off initially, but Fale hits the grenade. Tama Tonga makes the cover, and Ishii barely kicks out. Tama Tonga hits the stun gun, and Tama Tonga gets the win. Now I know in
You know
our
my policy.
previous
You know
conversations,
my policy.
you are not watching anything dealing with the Tongans if you can help it.
Yeah, I'm at this point, but I'm hearing good stuff about certain matches, so I may break the rule because I don't know, but we'll see.
All right. Next up, we had Juice Robinson versus Sonata. Sonata counters Juice's comeback and he gets the skull in. Juice walks up the ropes and he counters out of the skull in. Sonata locks the skull in back in and he swings Juice around and then he drops down and puts the hooks in. Juice counters and he hits the big left hand and pro friction, and Juice Robinson gets the win. That was a kind of upset to me.
Yeah, that was shocking to say the least. I just assumed that Sonata was just going to get the win and move on. Because, I mean, let's be real. Juice is catching so many L's.
Exactly. But that wasn't the case. And that's the reason why this booking office always keeps us on our toes.
That's
Next
true.
up,
That's true.
Naito. He faced off against Yano. Their hair pulled, followed by the cradle, gets a 2 for Yano. Yano follows with a belly to belly, and he chokes out Naito with his shirt. Naito blocks the low blow, and he rolls up Yano for a 2. Naito hits Destino, and he gets the win over Yano.
Like, Naito can play those silly games if you want to play them, and he can beat you at your own games. That's why he is the Stardust Genius. So we that crap Yano was doing, like playing both sides, good and bad. It's like that ain't gonna work against Naito, bro. But nice try.
Yeah. It was a good, fun match, though. Had enough blend of comedy and wrestling.
Yep, it hit the spot. Yano's been one of the bright spots of this tournament.
Next up, we had a super matchup between Zack Sabre Jr. and Kenny Omega. Zack Sabre Jr. locks in, orienting with Napalm Death. Omega fights, but Zack Sabre Jr. just locks it in tighter. Zack Sabre Jr. transitions to a calf slicer, but Omega makes the ropes. Omega blocks the PK and they trade strikes. Zack Sabre Jr. blocks the V trigger once, but Omega hits it on the second try and he cradles up Zack Sabre Jr. for the win.
He basically, in a way, kind of out wrestled Zach to get that win, which is strange to say, but we've seen this a couple times in this tournament where Zach has been outfoxed by people in using his like technical base to beat him, and it very much upsetted him if you watch his post match shit like outburst because he knew it's like, oh my god, these guys got me. God damn it. Oh, we're not New Japan. We can curse.
Yeah, based on some actions that we're going to discuss a little bit later. Yeah, they had some reprimands come down from the office. So
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
boy.
This was a really good finish. It came so far out of nowhere that I had to watch it like twice because it was like I was watching it. I turned away for a second to take a sip of my beer, and I turned back, and like you said, I see Zack Sabre Jr. just throwing a temper tantrum. I'm like, what the hell just happened? And so I was like, oh, he got cradled up. Nice, nice, nice. So nice variation for Kenny Omega to win a match without using his usual, one winged angel. So good variation there. I like that match a lot. Our main event for night 12, Kota Ibushi versus Goto. Goto hits a headbutt. Ibushi lays in strikes, and the running knee strike gets a 2 count. The last ride powerbomb follows by Ibushi for a great near fall. The Kamigoye connects, and Ibushi gets the win over Goto.
Yeah, that was my match of the night.
Mm-hmm.
Ibushi really stepped up in his hometown, and Goto has been also in that discussion of having a great G1 as well. He's. I mean, Goto delivers in big spots when he's called upon to. So I was hoping to be good. I didn't expect it to be as that good, but hey, I'm here for it.
All day long. Next up, we had night 13, and that was in the A block. We had Bad Luck Fale versus Michael Elgin. Hoss match. The rolling elbow from Elgin connects for 2, and we get a ref bump. Tongaloa attacks. Elgin fights him off, and Elgin slams Fale. Elgin heads up top. Tamatonga arrives and takes him out with chair shots for the DQ.
Hmm. I didn't watch it, so that's on
Uh,
you, Don, to break it down.
Definitely a Hoss match. Good stuff. Good power stuff between the two guys up until the run in, and then the DQ is the DQ. So Fale could have probably like the most points ever scored if all these matches didn't end in DQ that he's involved in, because he's really been wrestling pretty well. He looks good. He lost the weight. He's moving around a lot better. So his matches are improving as well. So I look for big things for him actually, and going forward for the end of this year and into early next year.
That's an interesting take because my timeline feel completely opposite about Fale, but that's neither here nor there.
I've always liked Fale though, even when he was really heavy and really didn't do that much. I always liked him, but I
I
guess
like him as a monster too, but it's just I think it's a mixture of all the crazy stuff that's happening right now that's really turning people on against him. And
right.
it's not like I like I'm mad at you because you're a heel. It's kind of like it's getting to the point where we want y'all to go away. We
Yeah,
don't want that.
they getting that X spot go away heat. That's definitely what you do not want.
Hell no.
Next up, we had the Hangman Adam Page versus Makabe. Makabe hits the overhead belly to belly from off the ropes. The King Kong knee drop misses. They trade clotheslines, and Page counters the German but runs into a lariat. Page, he goes to the apron, and Makabe attacks. Page hits the buckshot lariat, and he follows that up with the rite of passage, and Hangman Page gets the win.
That match was awesome. And it was really good to see Makabe like really step up to help a younger talent get further over. That's what I love seeing old heads help the young heads to get better and keep the business moving forward. Because that's how it's supposed to be. And Hangman, he's just keep delivering really good matches, man. He's the anti Tomatonga as far as like work rate wise.
Yeah, he's definitely been stepping up this whole tournament. I've definitely had a new appreciation for Adam Page and all that he can do in these matches. And this is what the G1 is supposed to be for a person like him who, has been in a faction kind of buried deep in the roster, but now due to the way that things are stacking up, he's getting a chance to show what he can do night after night after night with some of the best wrestlers in the world. And he's getting better, and he's getting rewarded for getting better because now he's pinning these guys.
They better like lock him up contract wise, because with what happened today in the news, they got to be real careful with their contracts because
In
Vince
the
is going to come back to
news.
revenge.
So go
Best
ahead,
believe.
Go,
Best
go,
believe.
go ahead and break it down to him and let him know what happened since you brought it up.
The MSG and Ring of Honor show sold out in like maybe under 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
They sold percent of their tickets in the pre-sale on Wednesday, I believe, and then they sold the other 40% today this morning.
Physical
And
tickets and like online sales. Yep.
yeah, and the only way you can get tickets right now is through the resellers market. And I'm gonna tell you, them reseller tickets ain't cheap. Because I'm planning to go that route, and I'm looking at them tickets. I'm like, this history though, so I gotta find my way in there. But yeah, man, it's not cheap to go now.
Yeah, I can best believe it. It's a hot commodity, man.
But yeah, they really, really need to lock up the talent that they have plans for in the future because Uncle Grandpa Vince, Uncle Paul about to come.
Yeah, yeah. So our next match, night 13, Jay White versus Yoshihashi and his wig. What's up, Moto? How you doing? So Yoshihashi counters a Blade Runner, and we get a ref bump and a low blow. Yoshihashi fires back and he hits the super kick. The backstabber follows, and the Fisherman Buster connects for 2. Jay White counters Karma into the Blade Runner, and Jay White gets the win.
To me personally, I enjoyed the showing that Tacos put forth in a match versus Jay, but part of me is like, Jay, you need to beat Tacos without any interference or any shenanigans because you are a dude that's on a higher level than Yoshihashi. You shouldn't be cheating to beat him. That's terrible. I know you a heel and that's your stick, but come on now. Come on, bro.
Oh yeah, they're having the heels heal it all the way up to the absolute extreme.
All the way up.
So we have Tanahashi, the Ace, versus Evil. Evil hits Darkness Falls and gets a good near fall. The Lariat connects for 2. Everything is Evil is countered, and Tanahashi hits his version of Everything is Evil, and then he heads up top. The high fly flow connects, and Tanahashi gets the victory.
I was like, damn, Tanahashi won again. What are we doing? Is this is this Cena booking? But I gather why they had to do it because Tana need to keep getting the wins because he has Okada and Jay White on his heels, and Jay got the tiebreaker on both of them. So he got to win everything. It was sad to see Evil lose again because it kind of just pretty much ended his G1 run as a chance to win it. But still, it's like it's the Ace. I can't get too mad. That's my guy.
Yeah, man, the Ace is always fantastic. He's always a good match, especially when he's in that semi-main or main event spot. You know you're gonna get a really good match from whoever he's wrestling against. Next up, we have Okada versus Minoru Suzuki. Suzuki locks on the octopus hold. Okada then counters out and hits the tombstone for the double down. Okada now works a sleeper, and he teases a Gotch pile driver, but Suzuki counters and looks for a tombstone, but Okada counters into a Gotch style tombstone. We get a rolling Rainmaker by Okada, followed by the regular Rainmaker, and Okada gets the win.
Yo, that match was wild. Suzuki was with his facial reactions at times was killing me. But it's just it's not quite on the level of their previous matches, but it was still awesome. And even though they kind of got tired at the end, it was still an entertaining match. And I love how old school Suzuki is. He don't be playing around kicking out from multiple finishes. When you hit him with your finisher, he goes down.
Oh yeah, this match had a good amount of brawling and a good amount of wrestling, and a really good lead up to the finish with both of them trying each other's setup move.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really like the way that finish built up, and then at the end, you know, we get the Okada still on a winning streak. He's coming up strong. You know, he's riding the rail, and he's making a hard charge for Tanahashi on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
Just a reminder that this is Cast of Strong Style, I'm here with my co-host Anwar Starwin. We're talking about the G1 tournament, night 12 through 16. You can find Cast a Strong Style on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, and Stitcher Radio. So we're going to go into night 14, where we get B block action resumes. We have Yano versus Sanada. Both men brawl to the floor. Sanada gets the skull in and then ties up Yano in the Paradise Lock in one of the barricades. Sanada then tapes the barricade to the post. Rocky Romero tries to help, so Sanada ties Rocky up in the Paradise Lock, and Sanada wins via countout.
That's what Rocky get for being nosy.
I almost had an asthma attack laughing at him with his headset still on commentary. Somebody help me! Help me! I need help! Somebody get Milano! Get him over here! Get over here! Get Milano!
Yeah, man, it was a lot of fun. It's like Sonata, like showing that he got some jokes in him. I mean, he be doing the straight deadpan humor at times, but he's like, "Oh, you gonna mind your business too, Rocky? Huh? Okay, let me just tie you up real quick
and just
Yano,
leave you.
just leave you there." Yano was on the ground yelling, "Rocky, help me!" He's like, "I gotta help him." And Kevin Kelly getting mad at him, and Kevin's like, "See, that's what you get, boy. I told you about interfering in matches when you're on commentary."
Yeah, man, that was a really good deal. Like right there, I really enjoyed that match. Next up, we get Goto versus Tama Tonga. So guess what, Anwar?
What?
There was a ref bump, and Tonga Loa gets in the ring, and he hits a running power slam.
If people would take a shot for like all the ref bumps per show, jeez,
Alcohol poisoning, sir. Alcohol poisoning.
yeah, man, ridiculous.
So the Gorillas of Destiny look for guerrilla warfare, but Goto fights them off. Goto counters the gun stun, and he hits Ishigoroshi. The GTR follows, and Fale pulls out the ref. Fale hits Goto with the grenade, and Red Shoes refuses to count, and he DQs Tama Tonga.
Red Shoes don't play.
Wash, rinse, repeat.
Yeah. I feel bad that you had to watch that, but you got to do it for the team. I appreciate your efforts.
In a first ever matchup, I think they said we had Juice Robinson versus Zack Sabre Jr. Juice unwraps the tape in the cast on his injured hand. He hits the left hand of God, and Zack Sabre Jr. is down. Juice is slow to follow up, so Zack Sabre Jr. counters the Pulp Friction and locks on the doubled arm submission. Juice fights, but Zack Sabre Jr. ties up his legs as well. Juice does his best pretzel impersonation, and the ref finally has to stop it when Juice has no other option but to tap out.
I liked how this was a good match. I like that they saved stuff for a future match too. They did a nice bit of stuff in a limited amount of time. So whenever that rematch happens, it's going to be really good. And I'm gonna keep it real with you. ZSJ with the US Championship could be really fun. You could, with all the crazy stuff that's going on in the world, you can have a lot of fun making people mad from America.
Yeah, I was about to ask, did you think that maybe, since he got this victory, if maybe that would lead to him maybe challenging Juice later on at some point, King of Pro Wrestling, or maybe waiting all the way to the Dome?
I think it's probably gonna happen in Long Beach.
Okay. All right. That'll be good. Sooner than later. I'll take that.
Either Long Beach or the Destruction Tour, maybe.
Okay. Next up, oh boy, Ishii versus Kenny Omega.
Big match Ishii, baby.
Kenny Omega counters the lariat with a knee strike, but Ishii hits a pop-up headbutt. The lariat from Ishii decapitates Omega, and it only gets a 2 count. Omega hits a brain buster for only a 1. Hit a lariat by Ishii, they trade strikes. We get the brain buster by Ishii, and Ishii gets the upset victory over Kenny Omega.
Ishii did it for the culture, man. People
Oh,
on my timeline was losing their goddamn mind when Ishii won. I
uh,
was like, dog, I told you Ishii was had a strong chance to beat him. And I told people that you don't really think they're gonna make Omega to go through the entire tournament undefeated. Really?
I
Come on.
was
I know
oh,
y'all in your feelings and whatnot, but come on now.
I was losing my mind watching this Saturday morning because this happened on Friday, last Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, like every freaking, turn of the match, it was just like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Like I didn't think I would see a match better than Ishii and Kota Ibushi, but yeah, they got it.
I was feeling the same way about Kota Ibushi. I was like, man, Ishii versus Kota Ibushi, Mega versus Naito. I'm forgetting one more, like Goto versus Ishii. I was like, it's gonna be hard to top those matches.
Yeah, but this one was really I think because Kenny got hard weighed and his lip was all, I mean, like he was in a fight. You know
They
what I'm saying?
both were busted up, I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah, this turned
God
into a fight at the end, man. And
damn.
you don't really see that much blood in New Japan, but like Kenny's lip was really laid open from those headbutts.
It was one of those times where they really did need them young guys to bring them back to the back because
Right.
they took a beating, and I was like, I've watched that match 3 times now. You
Yeah,
even
man.
listen if you listening to on the Japanese commentary, some of the stuff that they do in the match, they start cussing American curse words. I was like, oh, I hear Milano going like, damn. What?
Yeah, man. That was a hell of a match right there, man. That was whoa. They
That's
really
gonna be
laid on the line.
that match is going to be on some people's match of the year. Somewhere it might be the top. It might be somewhere in that top 10 for most people though.
Oh yeah. If you saw it, you definitely are gonna have it ranked very, very high. Next up, the guys we have to follow that, not too shabby themselves, Naito versus Kota Ibushi. Ibushi pulls Naito to his feet. The Kamigoye is countered by Naito. Ibushi fights off the Destino, but Naito hits the Destino on the second try for a great near fall. Ibushi counters another Destino into the air raid crash and follows with the Bombaye and the Kamigoye for the win.
Man, he did the Shinsuke Nakamura shout out. Like he moved a couple times in the tournament, but that was the first time he did the whole gesture and then hit somebody with it.
Mm-hmm.
And man, that's a killer combo. It's like you're really not supposed to get up after that. Like nah, but that level of match that Naito and Ibushi did following Omega and Ishii is tremendous. And though I don't have it better than Omega versus Ishii, I have it right beneath it, below. It's like I got Omega versus Ishii maybe 5 stars. I have Bushi versus Naito is 4.75. It's just like it's callbacks from their previous match. The last one's G1 too, so I guess. And it also is in a way with Ibushi getting the victory, is kind of him getting back at Naito saying, "What are you doing here last year? You didn't do nothing to be here. You just get in the tournament. Get the hell out
Right,
of here."
right. Yeah, so I mean, like I said, the level of match that they had to follow and what they actually did, I mean, they did as best you could expect or better, probably.
Yeah, a lot of people we've seen a lot of people not do the same thing in certain situations, like follow a great match with their own great match in their own way.
Right, right.
With that said, that match was kind of scary to watch, man. It's the drops they were taking on each other's
Uh-huh.
heads.
Uh-huh.
That
Uh-huh.
shit oh
Kenny,
my
Kenny and Ishii too, man. Kenny, I mean, they were getting dropped on their a lot of on their shoulders and necks.
yeah, but it was even worse because you know Ibushi kind of crazy though. So I was like, man, I see why y'all don't go to this match too much because it's kind of like Dragon Lee Hiromu. Those are great matches, but we can't have them dudes wrestling each other too much.
Right,
Like once or twice a year, that's it.
right.
Not
Yeah.
no more than that.
Exactly. So we're gonna move on to night 15. We're back to the A block. Yoshihashi, he goes up against Bad Luck Fale. Bad Luck Fale misses a sit down splash on the sunset flip counter. Tangaloa runs in and Yoshihashi fights him off. Yoshihashi hits a running Meteora and locks on an armbar. Tamatanga arrives and runs in for chair shots and he gets Bad Luck Fale DQ'd. Minoru Suzuki,
Oh,
he faces Hangman Page. Page hits the buckshot lariat. Page looks for the rite of passage. Suzuki counters into the choke. Page fights and counters the Gotch piledriver into the rite of passage for the upset as Hangman Page defeats Minoru Suzuki.
when that happened, all I remember is screaming, "Oh my God, he just beat Suzuki." Oh
Biggest
my God.
win of
Oh
his life.
my God. Like, just think about like his tournament thus far. He's beaten Fale, even if it's disqualification, he beat him. Fale is a former Intercontinental Champion.
Mm-hmm.
He's beaten Makabe, who's a former World Heavyweight Champion. He's beaten Suzuki, who's a former Intercontinental Champion. So they are. He's not winning no block, but he's growing. So
Exactly.
yeah, man, that's good on New Japan and good on Hangman.
Yeah, man. Another stepping stone for old Hangman Page. Next up, we
It's just,
had. Oh, go ahead.
it's just like the finish is like, whoa, he just beat Suzuki. Like, oh my God. Like, literally, I was like, I couldn't believe it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. The Sling Blade Jay White, or excuse me, Switchblade Jay White versus Makabe. Makabe heads up top. He misses the King Kong knee drop. Jay White goes to the floor and he gets a chair. Makabe lariats the chair into Jay White's face, and we have a ref bump followed by a chair shot from Jay White. The Blade Runner finishes Makabe, and Jay White gets another victory.
I vaguely remember and I vaguely remember not really liking this match that much. And I think I think I only really liked the little stuff in the match where Jay was doing stuff like the referee ain't want to do. And the referee was like, no, 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 no. And Jay's like, yeah, 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 yeah. And I think I remember liking the finish too, but yeah, everything ain't gonna be great.
You know it. They got to have a couple of duds here or there. That what makes the spectacular matches stand out even more.
Exactly.
So the ace, Tanahashi, he goes up against Big Mike Elgin. We get a back fist by Elgin, followed by a huge lariat. Elgin hits another lariat and Splash Mountain for a great near fall. Elgin pulls Tanahashi up and hits a buckle bomb, but Tanahashi counters the Elgin bomb into a cradle, and Tanahashi gets another victory in this year's G1.
This match was awesome, and if it wasn't for the botch at the finish, it'd probably be rated higher by other people. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't kill for that botch, but still, you could tell that it frustrated Tanahashi in the backstage comments. So it was a really good match, and it like somebody else said, I think it was Smooth that said it basically that it's amazing how much better Michael Elgin looks when he has some psychology within his matches.
Mm-hmm.
And he got that versus Tanahashi, and he's also gotten that versus Naito. So that is something we because at times it's just like Big Mike just be hitting them.
Big
He,
moves.
he's like he's one of those moves dudes. He had
Mm-hmm.
those moves, but he doesn't have the quite right the psychology. I don't know,
No, it's
but
the economy of it. He's a big guy, right? And he can do a whole lot of things, but he tries to do them all in one match when instead he could probably cut that in half and use a couple of moves for special occasions or when he has to dig deep and it's a really good opponent, break out one of those really, really cool moves that he can do. And then it'll mean a lot more because it'll have the economy of, oh, he doesn't do that a lot anymore.
my guy on Twitter at guy guys and really kind of made a joke about like you see Elgin's one of the reasons we should ban tape traders from wrestling. Because it's like they see it, all the Japanese moves and want to do them. And it's kind of like, come on, man, chill out. And I saw that, just wanted to start busting out laughing because it's kind of true.
Right,
I
right.
mean, the tape trader dude, so I mean that's why he has all those all Japan moves and stuff. Does the burn the hammer?
We get to the main event as we have Okada. He faces off against Evil. Okada counters Everything is Evil, and he hits his own version of Everything is Evil for a near fall. Okada hits the drop kick, followed by the tombstone, and then he fires up. Evil cuts off a Rainmaker attempt, and Evil hits his own Rainmaker. Okada hits a Rainmaker, and then he hits a second Rainmaker, and Okada picks up another hard-fought victory.
That was a dope match. It, it was good to see like Okada continually building momentum, and it was also good to see El Evil have a pretty good match because this tournament has been up and down. He's been like battling injuries. We don't like allegedly battling injuries, and it's probably kind of like weakened him across the tournament. So I will give him somewhat of a pass, but he's not. He hasn't had the same level of tournament that he did last year.
Right, right. We'll move into the final night of our review, night 16. We're back in the B block. Juice Robinson, he's going up against, by far, the MVP of this year's G1 tournament, Ishii. Ishii misses the lariat, but he hits a German. Juice Robinson fires back up with Fighting Spirit, and Ishii hits a clothesline. They trade headbutts. Ishii counters the Pulp Friction, and he hits an Enziguri, followed by the Brainbuster to defeat a game Juice Robinson.
Ishii just getting all the title shots in B block. Yeah, Ishii getting all the title shots. But this is a dope match. We all kind of assumed that Ishii was going to win because they're trying to keep him strong. But whenever he faces Omega for the title, so it was a dope match. Sucks to see Juice catch another L, but it is what it is. It's part of his road to redemption and his underdog babyface story. So
Right.
it's all right.
Next up, we had Goto. He faced off against Zack Sabre Jr. Zack Sabre Jr. counters out of the GTR and rolls into a Billy Robinson style cradle for a 2. Goto hits a desperation headbutt and the reverse GTR. Zack Sabre Jr. counters the GTR into the European clutch, and Zack Sabre Jr. comes away with the victory.
I loved all the callbacks to Japanese greats, even to his own countryman Billy Robinson. I loved the desperation spot by Gojo to reach the ropes. It shows how desperate he was to continue to win and have that shot to like win G1. And the commentary, like the English commentary, really aided in me watching the match. I think a reason GP was visiting or something on that night. The roll up finish was really cool. So I really enjoyed that match. I knew that I remember Goto and Zach having a good match last year, so I'm not surprised by this being really good too.
Mm-hmm. Next up, Kota Ibushi versus Tama Tonga. Now, this is in the Budokan Hall, right? This is where these matches were, right?
I think it were.
Yeah, he got banned from the building because he did the moonsault in there off of the balcony.
Actually, it might have been somewhere else. I think the Budokan are the last like.
Are these ones coming up? Okay. Well, I know one of these last venues, like he got banned out of there because he did one of these balcony moonsaults, and he did that in this particular match where he went up to the second level.
He was banned from the Budokan, and the last couple shows are going to be at Budokan. So
yeah, so that's cool. So he does all that. So they finally get it all back into the ring. Ibushi hits a head kick. Fale arrives and lariats Ibushi. Kenny Omega runs out. He takes out Fale, but Tonga Loa, spears Omega. Ibushi takes out Tongaloa and lariats Tama Tonga. The Kamagoye is countered, and Tama Tonga hits a pop-up gun stun, and Tama Tonga gets a win over Kota Ibushi.
I heard good things about that match. So
Oh, you didn't see this? Oh, yes, yes, yes.
I told you, man. It's just
Oh, he's on strike. Well, they actually made this one freaking count.
yeah. I
Yeah,
was sad that Bushi lost on, but whatever.
and so with Kenny Omega getting speared and thus beat down after the match, Omega is laid out until Page and Hangman Page and Chase Owens, they make the save. The commentary questions if Omega will even compete. So Yano rushes out to try to take advantage of Kenny Omega. So, Owens and Page, they remain at ringside to kind of assist Kenny. So the bell rings, we get Yano versus Kenny Omega. Yano uses the ref to try to fight off the one-winged angel. Then Yano low blows Omega and the ref. The firing squad arrives and attacks both men. Tama Tonga hits a gun stun on Yano and Omega, and then he puts Yano on top of Omega, and Yano gets the win.
Bruh, that that gave me bad flashbacks to TNA wrestling when it was bad. That was just some overbooked nonsense. I know why they did what they did it for the sake of the story, but it gotta be a better way to do it than that crap we saw. Come on, man. The stuff between Yano and Omega was fun, but all that other grinning crap was like, man, F out of here with that.
And this is where Tama Tonga took it a little bit too far and went out in the crowd.
Oh, no, yeah.
And I guess they said, from what I've heard, is that guy is a particular heckler at that particular building, and he's kind of known for that. And Tama Tonga just, I guess, wasn't having it that day, and
Went too far.
yeah, he definitely crossed the line because he put his hands on a fan, and you can never do that.
If he was in WWE or even probably Raw, he would have got fired.
Oh yes, for freaking sure. Now he could have went
Yeah.
out there and pump fake like he's gonna punch him or he's gonna hit him with the chair. He would have been totally within his right to do that. Even if he would have gotten his face and maybe me mugged him and cursed him, he would have been fine. But when he put his hands on him, yeah,
And then it's like you got the bad behavior with that, the curse words. Plus, he was littering, which is it's a big taboo in the country.
right. Plus, he was
So,
trolling Roman at every turn inside with the intros and everything too. He's been doing a lot this summer.
doing doing the most, but sometimes doing the most will get you in some crap. But he gonna mess around, get himself fired, and cause his brother to get fired too, because they're not gonna keep him.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
so it's like one of those situations where you got to think about how your actions affect not just yourself but other people. It's heat and then it's cheap heat. You know it
right,
ain't cheap.
right,
So
right.
yeah, man. It's just I like Haku. I like his kids. It's like Haku never had to do none of that stuff because Haku was just that dude. I ain't never hear Haku curse. I just know Haku's that dude. So you need to be more like your father. Chill with this crazy stuff.
Right. Well, we'll see how the new toned down act works the last three nights here of G1. So next up, Naito faces off against Sonata. So Lij versus Lij. Naito counters out of the skull end, but Sonata gets the Okana roll for two. Sonata lays in strikes, but Naito tosses Sonata into the buckles and follows with the German. Sonata fires back up, but walks into a Destino, and Naito gets the win. Evil arrives and has Hiromu's jacket with him. Naito cuts the post-match promo and says Hiromu is likely watching and he will return when he can. And so they all come in together and do the Lij fist bump.
Yeah, man, that really touched a lot of people. It was a dope main event. It was kind of some rough spots in it, but I kind of like blame that to them not having so much chemistry wrestling versus each other,
Mm-hmm.
and also fatigue from the tournament because we're getting closer down to the nitty gritty. One spot in the match that was really cool was seeing Sonata finally hit the Destiny, on somebody. he was going to hit it on probably Naito, and I was right. So he just need to work on that Destino because it was kind of rough too. But yeah, it would be a great thing if Naito won. Like one of my other people say, it's like it would be a great moment if Naito won and Hiromu came out to congratulate him.
And
That,
break off a piece of the trophy.
that would be funny too. Yes, that would be funny. That would be great. It would be fitting too, and that'll stop people from from crying to laughing, and that's what Hiromu was about.
So I'm gonna catch you guys up on the standings this time, as I did not have them for you last time. So at the end of night 16, in Block A, we have Tanahashi, Hiroshi Tanahashi. He's 7-1. He's got 14 points. Jay White is the next closest competitor. Him and Okada both are 6-2, and they both have 12 points. So they're the two guys who matter coming into the final nights. So Tanahashi's going to face off with Okada. So there's a potential where we could get both men having 14 points, and Okada would have the tiebreaker because he beat Tanahashi. Jay White could also end up with 14 points, and that would put Jay White over them both because Jay White defeated both of them the first two nights of the A block competition. So it's really tight at the top here. You know, a pinfall here, a pinfall there will determine who wins Block A.
Yep. We got a couple contenders, and we'll see how it plays out.
All right, and Block B is a little bit more crowded. So we got Kenny Omega and Naito. They're both 6-2, and they both have 12 points. Kota Ibushi and Zack Sabre Jr. are both 5-3, and they both have 10 points. So we know that Kenny and Kota Ibushi are going to face each other. So there's a potential where both of those men could be tied up, and Kota Ibushi would win via tiebreaker. But then, of course, we've got Zack Sabre Jr. and Naito, and one of those guys could also, creep in there due to just having more points. 14 points would be the number Naito would get. And Zack Sabre Jr. would be in an interesting position because I know he lost to Omega, so he wouldn't have that tiebreaker. I think he lost to Naito too, and he beat Kota. So there's some interesting dynamics going there in Block B.
I can't remember what Zach did early that was funny, but it was really funny. I think Zach had a picture of Naito and somebody else where he was making fun of him, how he looks alike. And then other people, commenters, had like Naito looking like the guy like Garth from Wayne's World. And it was other ones. It was just like I was like, damn, Zach, it's too early for this shit.
So I know that you may have a little fortune cookie going on. So let's say no spoilers, but do you have a prediction for who's going to be wrestling in the finals?
Oh, I know. Like for B block, I already know who's going from A block. I'm not gonna tell you that.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Keep me in the dark. No spoilers here. No spoilers.
For B block. If we follow the narrative that was set up last year, it feels like it feels like it might be Bushi.
Okay.
Part of me, but I kind of want to see Naito be the dude to go back to back.
Yeah, that story would be great. I was thinking about that after he beat Sonata and be like, man, it'd be cool if he did this back there. And that would be 3 finals in a row too.
Yeah, you're right. That's true. So it'd be cool if he get that, because he's not going to have a lot of the records that Okada's going to have, but for him to have that would be great for him and his fans. So yeah.
All right. So you guys are all caught up through night 16 of the G1. We've got 3 more nights to go. 3 straight nights: Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Sunday is the final. So definitely, if you got New Japan World, tune into that before you watch SummerSlam. I'm pretty sure it will be much better and probably about 3 hours shorter too. So so enjoy
Oh,
the finals of the G1. It's gonna whatever the finals are is gonna be a fantastic match because that match has no time limit, right? Or it's a
don't know
60-minute
about that.
time limit. I know it's twice what the normal matches are at least. The normal matches are 30-minute time limits. I think the final is like an hour no time limit.
I'm about to look that up.
What you see? Anything on the
I said I'll look it up for the next show.
for the next show. Okay, I got you. Thought you were doing the Googles now. My bad. All right, so on that note, for Anwar Starwin, I'm going to let him get his shout outs out before we wrap up the show.
Thanks for everyone that's listening, and thanks for the people that's commenting and people who shares it and helps us bring in more people. Go listen to other podcasts on the network and have fun.
All right. Thank you, Anwar, once again for joining me. I'd like to give a shout out to JPK Moto. Hopefully, she can join us for the finals. I would love for that to happen. So, got my fingers crossed for that. Thanks to everybody who listens to Cast a Strong Style, who uses the hashtag, who interacts on Twitter. We very much appreciate it. We definitely love seeing the tweets, seeing you guys be just as excited about the product as we are. Help out CSPN by becoming a Patreon member. Go over to www.patreon.com/CSPN media. You can become a patron, different levels, whatever you choose. If you become a CSPN backstage member, though, you get exclusive new podcasts, new content, backstage stuff that goes on pre and post shows from the WrestleCast, Bad and Boozy, the newest podcast on the network, Not So Newlyweds. They have their own special version of Patreon content. So we got some really cool things going on over there at patreon.com/CSPN media. So for my co-host, Anwar Starwin, I'm Don Delarente, and this has been Cast of Strong Style. Thank you, sir.
No problem.
So I'm going to try to edit this real fast so I can go drinking with my buddy.
All right.
Have a good weekend, man.
Thanks.
All right, man. Thanks.
Later.
Later.